You're acting, producing, writing. How did you get into, all of this? And
I'm gonna say it started when I was a kid. I just always wanted to be in music. And it was funny because really I wanted to be a singer at first, but I realized I couldn't sing. But I like to put words together. I was writing poems for the girls at school, you know what I'm saying? And hey, now we here. And it led me to making beats, recording myself. With the acting, I love movies. I'm a movie head. Still to this day, I watch almost all the movies that's out, for real. So that got me into the acting because I want to be behind the screen. I want to be on the camera, you know what I'm saying? Doing all kind of acting for sure. With the songwriting, it steals from the music as well. I just always had a passion to write. I'll be reading a book or something, and in my mind, I'm reading the words how I want to rap it. So it just always been in my head since I was a kid.
So that seems like a good way of also learning. Mm-hmm. I have a middle school daughter, and her science teacher, he has all these videos on YouTube. Shout out to Mr. Z. And she comes home and she's so excited. She's like, "Oh, Mom, look at this. And we're talking about the planets." And he's in there, dum. So, when I hear you say that, when you're reading, you would have it as in how you would have it as a song or singing it. Did it help you with your academics in school?
It definitely did, because now I can remember words like crazy. I'll read some or say something and I will never forget it.
The first sip of anything, no food, no drinks from sun up to sundown. So I'm glad that it is after dark and I can have me a little bit of water. But for those of y'all who think it's the wine that had me crazy, now you can see, no, that's just me. That is just me. Positive parenting. And I get it in a way, because as more and more research is coming out, we're learning that, especially what I specialize in things like developmental trauma, and they have things that's, research like the ACEs, which stands for adverse childhood experiences, and these are things that we've normalized, single parent household, growing up in a high crime neighborhood, dope boys on the corner, parent might be, in prison or in jail and you never raised them. And for many of us, that was just life. I go on social media and we joke oftentimes is that I know many of us seen that meme that will come across and be like, you was raised by a black mama if you know what this means, and it's all just letters, AK, and you see when you click on the comments, everybody laughing, yeah, if you don't get your MF, blah, 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 blah. And don't realize how that has impacted us in a traumatic way, because as adults we can look back and we can say, oh no, that's just, my mama did the best, that was just the way it was, daddy did the best, it's just, part of life. But we're not looking at it from where we are in our 20s, 30s, 40s. Where we're looking at it from is that child who was 4, 5, 6, 10 and didn't have those same skills that we have today. And that is a part in the child that was traumatized. So now as we're starting to learn more about it, I think a lot of us, or a lot of people, have gone too far to the left. We're not trying to traumatize and things like that. Now that we're learning, we were like, oh, I don't want my kids to be like I was or feel like I was. And then it is getting into too much of, as you mentioned, what a lot of us grew up with saying, that's how white folks parent. Again, I'm a transplant, so I know where Ellen Wood, it wasn't Ellen with the good wood, that's a whole nother story, I gotta hey.
Hey, after dark though.
That is it, that's what we do here. We need to still have a balance.
Sure. Yeah.
Absolutely discipline, but create a balance. Yeah. You don't have to be all the way over here to the left, throwing shoes and making them wash their hands and hitting them on their hands. I'm speaking of my own trauma. You don't have to have that, but we also don't have to have where it is no discipline, at all. And I think that getting back into like the schools and the education is that it is. I also feel like it's changing too, because a lot of the teachers and things of that nature, they've come from the same neighborhood, and we want to go back. And just because I'm a teacher, we want to go back and we want to give back. And just because I'm a teacher from 9 a.m. to 3 or 5 or whatever, but I'm still Hood Trina from around the block. So if you come to me as a high schooler, middle schooler, and talking to me out the side of my neck, you gonna see real quick that I'm not the one to play with. And I think in many ways is also that lost art of even that same professionalism of, no, well, who's the adult here? I'm not gonna be tussling around. You want the bag? I'm gonna tell you no. You come to me disrespectful and try to swing and hit me, I'm not gonna be fighting you back. Look, take the bag. We'll deal with this with the principal or whomever else. But I think too many teachers and different things stoop down to that level because they're just from the same neighborhood as well.
I used to sell packs in the front of the store, but now I'm landlord, they pay me rent and that's for sure. I used to ride around in the green, mess them up, but now it's Range Rover, pull your daughter and her mama.
Here I come. Oh, here I come.
Are we done? You know, this after dark, I was getting ready to be like, When it comes to, you know, mental health, you know, laughing, how much, you know, joy we get and how it makes us, you know, feel better, and using endorphins and things of that nature. I was thinking more along the lines of like Trump and Biden, because I'm sure that is a whole lot of comedy that can be, you know, said into those things, but that's still, you know, a serious, you know, conversations. Politics is still very serious, especially, you know, worldwide, but with this being an election year.
I usually just honestly tell my story just to get people's minds off of what's going on. I understand that at the end of the day, we do have to deal with that stuff at the end of the day, right? But if I can channel your mind to something else and help you remember a joke or something that I said or something that I did, my job is done. And just to hear the laugh from, you know, people, knowing that laughter brings joy and it's good for the soul. That's pretty much it. I don't tap into those things. I don't know why. Maybe I could, maybe I should. I don't know, but it'll probably be interesting to do. My weed man.
Okay.
My homegirl introduced us, and she was like, "You really like him?" And I walk up to his house and stuff like that, and then he comes outside and he's smiling. I'm like, "What is he smiling for?" And he walked up to me. He's like, "Yeah, I got a 3.5 for your thick ass." And that kind of threw me off. This weed man.
I knew it was gonna get spicy.
Yeah. And I'm gay, but at the same time, I wasn't expecting.
Like I wasn't ready.
Right. So.
Like, bro, hold on, a little bit too much. I mean, I was checking you out too, but damn, you kind of aggressive, man.
Right. So I have sought out therapy before. For one, not only my mental health, and it actually does play into my mental health, my spirituality.
Okay.
That's key. Whether I go to therapy or not, I still come back to my spirituality.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind, more therapy, especially the things that I've endured. But through perseverance, it has actually helped my mental health.
Okay.
Okay. Despite that.
And do you feel that the comedy, also you doing comedy and maybe trying to like look at the bright side of things, or always, or being happy, or even having to know that you have an audience and a following, that even when I'm down, I still have to make them laugh? How do you juggle or have that balance?
No matter what I go through, when God has given me a gift to make people laugh, no matter what I go through, I still find comedy in it. I still find laughter in it. Like I say, you know, things that people used to say about me back then, it should be embarrassing. And I'm quite sure, you know, kids and stuff these days still get that.
Yeah.
But and I'll say to them that, yeah, you may be going through these things or whatever, and you're asking God and you're asking yourself, why me? Later on, you'll see why not you. That's another thing that plays into my mental health. Had I not went through those things, had I not encountered those things, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I'm grateful for it. So going through those things, and even things now, in my age now, I still find some kind of light in it. And to tell it to the world, it's a great deal, because it's nothing but me sharing the gift that God gave me.
Okay.
Your discretion is advised.
Yes.
When you go to follow me.
Yes, because that's what I was getting into. I'm like, you can't help but notice how big these are. Whenever we be talking about his pictures and things, his thirst traps, fellas.
Oh, Lord, don't get me salivating and fantasizing about things. Oh, my God.
Fellas, let me tell you. But it's real. It ain't no Photoshop. It ain't no AI, because all of this here, this is a big dude.
I appreciate it. And I play that a part into my art as well. When it comes down to negativity, I don't scoot to their level. A lot of people want my attention, you know, whether it's negative or positive. And I choose to deal with that or not. Now, the negative, I don't deal with it. Those comments will sit there all day. If we went to one of the posts and we saw the negative comments, you see how I either hearted it. That's, you know, me paying attention or not. You know, I have to understand that everybody's not gonna like me. Everybody's not gonna agree with me. But I know that the majority loves me. Yep.
Is that something, that mindset, is that something that you had to learn, or is that something that was instilled in you?
I had to learn it because I'm a people pleaser.
Okay.
And I didn't understand, you know, why people can be so negative. And come against someone who's trying to be positive. And I'm only telling my story. My story is my story, whether you understand it or not. I didn't understand it at first.
Okay.
But now I do.
Yeah, and I asked that because, you know, I have an 11-year-old daughter, and, you know, she's been experiencing some bullying in school. And she said that one of the little girls has said that's, you know, something along the lines of, well, that's why nobody likes you. And I said, okay. I asked her, you know, how does she feel, you know, about that? And what, you know, I've learned, and I was talking to, you know, my husband and things about, is building that emotional intelligence. You know, letting her, just as you said, I tell her the same thing, is that, you know, that's okay that they don't like you. Do you like everybody? She's like, no. And I said, okay, well, you don't like everybody. Everybody's not gonna like you, and that's okay.
So, like I said, I played
You twerking?
Yes, a little bit.
You
know,
twerking?
it depends.
You brought out the big butt. I mean, the second time you didn't mention the big butt, so I'm just saying, you be twerking on there?
Yeah,
I've seen some things on a beat.
Oh yeah, that went crazy too.
The whole reason why I got into therapy was because I did therapy like when I was like 18, and absolutely changed my life. I was like, oh my gosh, like, and I've always kind of been like the little like confidant for like all my friends. Like even when I was little, I was like, oh, like I'm really good at speaking to people one-on-one. Like you can come to me like when you're sad or whatnot. And then, you know, I faced some pretty severe depression when I was in high school. And I was like, oh, I need to do something because this is like life or death here. And it absolutely changed my life, 100%.
When you were going through the depression in high school, did your parents know?
Oh yeah. I mean, I tried to hide it from them, but it was to the point to where I just couldn't anymore.
How did they treat that? Were they supportive? Did they encourage you to like try to get you into therapy at that time or to talk to someone? Or was it just like, yeah, we kind of know that something's going on and come talk to me, are you okay, baby? And you know, those types of things.
Yeah, I absolutely love my parents. Again, they have very different values for me. It was like me growing up, I'm over here, my parents and my sister are over here when it comes to opinions.
Wow, okay.
And so I grew up in a very conservative Christian home where it's like, we don't talk about emotions. We don't do that. Like, what are you doing here? Now, my mom, she is very in tune with her emotions, so much so that like it can overwhelm her. And so it was kind of like, we didn't necessarily want to talk about it, that I was in therapy, but they were like, you got to do something at this point because we do love and care for you. But it was like, it was kind of like, oh, like, yeah, Alexis is the mentally ill one. Like, just,
Alexis is the mentally ill one.
Yeah.
That's
the kind of vibe I got. They didn't say that, but
I know the vibe, but I'm not laughing at them. I'm like, wow, that's kind of, you know, cold to even feel that way.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. I know you get married soon, and I'm gonna be at the wedding. I mean, I want to make sure that, you know, they're not having nooses or anything like that out back for me.
First time?
Let's be real.
No, it ain't like that.
I gotta wear my cowboy boots and my cowboy hat, bring out Beyonce, be like, I'm from Texas. They don't hold them.
That's such a good song. I grew up in a very homogenous, white Christian, you know, town.
Okay. And where are you from?
I'm from a little bit south of Nashville.
Okay. Tennessee?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But, and it was just like, you know, like Southern hospitality where it's like, oh, like, bless your heart, we'll do anything for you. But then really they're talking shit about you, like behind your back and all of that. And it's all this fake niceness. Like where I grew up, it was a lot about appearances. And I mean, I'm really blunt and I'm all about being real with people. And I think it was the whole, like, just growing up in that homogenous society and then just seeing, like, the awfulness that comes with that. Okay. That, you know, it made me really value and really want diversity in my life because, you know, being in kind of an echo chamber can be really harmful and pose some really, you know, hateful, you know, narratives in people's lives. And I'm just like, this is not me. Like, I think I realized that in high school when I got so depressed, where I'm like, okay, why are people telling me all this bull crap? Like, this is so wrong. Like, everything I've been taught. And I'm just like, this is not me. It's so funny because like they'll just ask me questions. My mom will be like, "You reading my mind right now?" And I'm like, that's not how it works. I'm like, just because I got a degree doesn't mean I can read your mind now.
I'm not saying nothing around Alexis.
Yeah, no.
She is analyzing everything we say, and now she can read minds.
Yeah, that's pretty much what sometimes my mom is like.